Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the programs. I'm about to talk about the core courses first, which is all of your introductory requirements and prerequisites to become a licensed teacher or minister. So the two prerequisite courses that are asynchronous, spiritual learning in a digital world, which is the one that I have just completed, and Canadians do not have to take it right away. I will explain why in a moment. I want to just keep on the track with this. And then from New Thought to Unity, a historical perspective. Actually, that's the SEE class, the equivalency. So if you prefer to have it as a course with an actual facilitator rather than an asynchronous class, please sign up. It will be on Saturdays. So we will have 7 classes at the 100 level. And as you can see, you have prerequisites for the 200 level. There are courses that do not have a direct link to a 200 level course, but what you will see is they do link up to a 3, 4, 5, or 600 level class. These are the way the redesign has gone is instead of just take a Bible class, take a prayer class, take a metaphysics class, and when you have all of your tick boxes checked, you get your certificate. Instead, we want to build upon the foundational knowledge of the Fillmores, of early Unity teachers, of Unity's teachings generally, the skill sets that you will need as a credentialed leader in the field, whether you are doing pulpit ministry or some kind of variation on that. There are so many ways to do ministry now that it's really important. And all of the teams that I was on as we went through this redesign, that was something we really came back with over and over again was we want to give folks the skill set that they need to be successful in the field, however that looks for them. But one of the things you will see is the DEI, that we get empathy. All of these courses are linked to the standards and rubrics of the credentialed leaders. So everything here, it's not going to be like back when I went through and I got to the final exam to become a licensed teacher, and there was stuff on that exam I had never seen that wasn't part of the curriculum anymore, but had been. Everything is being reviewed, everything is being updated. There will not be anything that isn't connected somehow to the broader picture of how we want to have our credentialed leaders succeed. So let me just go through this. And this is why I say for somebody who is brand spanking new, hasn't done this before, let's talk about what this is going to look like. So here you have all of these courses that convert into only 3 classes. So it might be, even with the exchange rate of the US dollar, more or better stewardship to take the classes through UWSI. This is the 200 level classes or some of the 200 level classes. Again, very few of these are a 1-to-1. Many of them are a 2-to-1. Oh, I put that in the wrong order. Mea culpa. So we have, for example, 3 Bible classes becoming 1 Bible class in the 100 level. Self-awareness comes across, conversation skills comes across. So the course that I will be facilitating is actually replacing 2 courses. Now we have 2 courses that have no equivalencies, the Sacred Trust, Ethics and Boundaries in Unity, and the Christ in All DEI in Unity. And again, that's because the process of determining and discerning what kind of skill sets were needed that became our standards and rubrics, which if you're unfamiliar with those, should have explained it better earlier. That is where we say we expect you to be able to. And when you are admitted to, whether it's the LUT field or the MNRS, we expect you to be at a beginning level, and there's a very specific description. And then it works up to, by the end of your first year and in whichever leadership level you are at, we expect that you will have grown this amount. We expect that you will be able to demonstrate. So, for example, in the Metaphysical Bible Unveiling Hidden Wisdom, the final assignment is to be able to explain just off the cuff without preparation, what does it mean to interpret the Bible metaphysically? So things like that that are, very useful to have. Things that many people said, geez, when I went through school, I wish you would have taught me. So for the required core courses, earlier I said you go and enroll and they automatically put you into the uh, spiritual learning in a digital world. And then you go to register.uwsi, you log in using the UWI email address and password. That's why I said before, even if you're just registering so that I can send your credits from Unity Canada in to be put on your transcript, you may need this to be able to get to your transcript. You will need this to be able to take those asynchronous courses and those other two courses that are not offered um, anyplace else or have no equivalency. So one of the things you will see if you're going to UWSI is they are now using a structure called Canvas. It's a learning management system. Um, I had a few hiccups with it as a student. I had a few hiccups with it as a facilitator. I've taught one class with it. I've taken 3 courses as a student. Um, it's about getting used to doing things differently. It's about getting used to having a YouTube video to watch instead, and having your modules to basically go in and click on your module and see where you are, and have emails to remind you when your assignments are due, and uh, little notes to remind you that you haven't submitted your. I missed one of my deadlines, and every time I logged in, there was a missing, late, just to remind me that I was behind schedule. So it's the next thing in education. I look back when I went through school, almost 30 years ago. There was no internet, there was no none of this stuff, and it takes some practice to learn how to use it, and this seems to be where the rest of the world is going as well. So, um, I'm kind of enjoying it. It's giving me an opportunity to stretch my wings and teach in different ways. And the other thing you will be confronted with is Big Blue Button, which is the live session system that is connected to Canvas. And lots of discussion about that, as with all things. At least it's not tin cans. I'm in the space of appreciating that I'm able to speak with people across time zones and get to meet people I wouldn't otherwise if I were only teaching in a classroom. So that those two things will be part of that education, that required education class you have to take before you can sign up for a core course. Okay, a few notes for we Canadians. As I said, you'll get your accounts and you will be auto enrolled. I asked Diane about that. I said, well, gee, we don't really need it right away. She reminded me that everyone who wants to be credentialed will need to take classes. So make sure you put your identifiers in a safe place so that you can pull them out when you need to sign up for a course. You will need to have taken this before you can take the core courses. And I'm sure that somewhere in the system where you will get an email reminding you of that. So I did go back and just add this up. So core courses are currently $2,100 for all of the courses. So if you want to become an LUT, I believe that's 4,500. And if you want to become a minister, that's, I believe, 11,700. I have no way of knowing how that compares to prices past, present, or future. I do know that there are scholarships available from both UWSI and from Unity Canada. Some of them do not pay out until you have successfully completed the courses. Some of them assist you with the expenses of going through the program. And that's a whole other kettle of fish that is under discussion in both organizations right now.